Hello dear, in this video we are going to learn about the Bhakti and Sufi movements. This is history 11th lesson for class 7 ICSE board. In the Bhakti and Sufi movements we have four main parts. They are causes for the rise of Bhakti movement and the causes for the rise of Sufi movement, then Bhakti movement and Sufi movement. In Bhakti movement, we have four main parts: Alvas and Nayanas, Bhakti science, teachings of Bhakti and their impact. Under Bhakti science, we have Tukaram, Kabir, Guru Nanak, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sant Jnaneswar, Mirabai. Then the Sufi movement. Sufi movement, we have three parts: Sufi science and teaching of the Sufi and their impact. Then we have two parts in Sufi science, Shishji and Sukravardi Silsila. The Bhakti and Sufi movements. The religious movements spread across India during the medieval period. These were the Bhakti and the Sufi movements. The Bhakti and Sufi movements influenced the life of the people in a big way. Alvars and Nayanas. The Bhakti movement became popular in South India from the 8th century onwards. The Alvar and the Nayanar saints helped popularize Bhakti. Both preached the path of surrendering ourselves to God. These saint poets travelled from place to place singing hymns and praise of God. Here, Alvar means the people those who worship Lord Vishnu, and Nayanas means those who worship Lord Shiva. Bhakti science. During the early medieval period, Shankaracharya and Ramanuja played a major role in spreading Bhakti in South India. Shankaracharya believed that there is no difference between the soul of God and the soul of human beings. The way to salvation was through knowledge. Ramanuja taught people to surrender themselves to God. He stressed that by loving God and doing good deeds alone could the soul be saved. He considered Bhakti to be more important than knowledge. In course of time, the Bhakti movement spread to other parts of India. Ramananda spreaded the Bhakti movement in North India. He opposed the caste system. He had many disciples from the so-called lower caste. Prominent among them were Kabir, Sena, Ravidas, and two women, Padmavati and Surasari. Kabir preached that there is only one God and Ram, Rahim, Hari and Allah are different names of the same God. He criticized rituals, superstitions, idol worship and the caste system. He preached the message of universal brotherhood and emphasized Hindu-Muslim unity. His followers were known as Kabir Bandis. He preached his message through poems called dohas or couplets. The holy Guru Granth Sahib also contains over 500 verses by Kabir. Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak was the founder of Sikhism. Like Kabir, Guru Nanak emphasized the worship of one God. He rejected class and caste differences. He started the practice of langar or common kitchens where people of all classes and castes would have meals together. He was also against rituals. He attracted a large number of followers. They were primarily peasants, artisans, craftsmen, and traders. Guru Nanak's teachings are in the form of verses. These have been compiled in Guru Granth Sahib, also called Adi Granth. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya popularized Krishna Bhakti in Bengal and composed many hymns in praise of Lord Krishna. He emphasized that music was the most important means of expressing Bhakti. He condemned the caste system and the domination of the priest. Mirabai. Mirabai, a Rajput princess, was the devotee of Lord Krishna. She composed numerous bhajans expressing her love and devotion of Lord Krishna. and Jnaneshwar. Sant Jnaneshwar popularized the worship of Vithoba, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. He criticized the caste system and rejected idol worship. Next, Dukaram. Dukaram popularized Krishna Bhakti. He composed verses in praise of Lord Krishna. Teachings of the Bhakti Science. The Bhakti Science taught that the selfless love and devotion are the means to come close to God. Purity of heart and mind is important. Closeness to God cannot be achieved through ceremonies, rituals, and sacrifices or by renouncing the world. All human beings are equal. God did not create caste divisions, nor did He create Hindus and Muslims. So people should be tolerant of one another. Helping fellow human beings is the true test of bhakti. Knowledge is an essential part of bhakti. It can be gained through the teacher, that is, from their guru. A devotee can express bhakti through devotional music. Next one, the impact of Bhakti movement. The Bhakti movement played an important role in uniting the Hindus and Muslims. The Bhakti science preached in the languages spoken by the common people. This encouraged the development of regional languages. The Bhakti movement helped to reform and revive Hinduism. Next is Sufi movement. What are the causes for the rise of Sufi movement? The Sufi movement created because to bridge the differences between two sects of Islam, that is Sunni and Shia. Then to uphold the Islamic concept of universal brotherhood and equality of all. Then also to challenge the corruption and orthodoxy in the society. What is Sufi movement? The Sufi movement originated in West Asia. From the 9th century onwards, many Sufis began to migrate to India. They settled in the different parts and asked people to love God, lead a simple life, and treat one another as equal. They also interact with the Bhakti science. Both traditions borrowed many ideas from each other. The Sufis were organized into many orders or silsilas, each named after its founder. The Shishti and the Suratvardi silsilas were the most popular silsilas in India. Shishti Silsila. Khwaja Muinuddin Shishti was one of the greatest Sufi saints of this silsila. His dargah at Ajmer is today a pilgrimage center visited by the Hindus, Muslims, and the Sikhs alike. Other famous history saints were Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki, Baba Farid, Nasiruddin Ziragi Dilli, and perhaps the greatest Sufi saint ever, Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia. He was popularly referred to as Mehboob-e-Ilahi by his followers. Mehboob-e-Ilahi means beloved of God. His dargah in Delhi is visited by hundreds of people every day. Chakravarti Silsila. Sheikh Bahauddin Zakaria was the first great saint of Chakravarti Silsila. Other famous Chakravarti saints were Shah Alam Bukhari and Shaykh Shihabuddin Chakravarti. Teachings of Sufi science. The Sufi science taught that God is supreme and should be worshipped through the love and devotion. Meditation and chanting of God's name is very important. Respect all religions. Different religions preach different ways of reaching God. Lead a simple life. Keep yourself free from greed. Help those in need. Show charity towards the poor. Follow a guru who would show the correct path. One can experience God through devotional music. Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti, in particular, gave importance to musical gatherings. Impact of Sufi movement. The Sufi movement encouraged unity between Hindus and Muslims. It influenced rulers to be more tolerant in their religious practices. The Sufi saints preached in the languages spoken by the common people. This encouraged the development of regional literature. Similarities between Bhakti and Sufi saints. They believed in the unity of God. They opposed the prevalent caste system. They condemned rituals and idol worship. They preached their message in the languages spoken by the masses, stressed the importance of teacher to guide the devotee. Thus, both Bhakti and Sufi movements helped in creating the composite Indian culture.